Last Sunday, when I was at church, something interesting was revealed to me that I never really paid attention to by one of, I think a lot of people knows him as one of these famous people in Botswana who was dealing with the trauma and trying to help people who are going through trauma so that they find themselves. And he was going in the Bible, revealing a lot of things about so many popular people that we've come to know so much of the world, of how much these people went through, all the things that they went through just for God to make who they were in the storyline of however we read it. So he was talking about David. So David, if you remember, if you have ever read the story of David, you understand that he was the son of Jesse, and I think he was the last one. And I don't think he was actually born from the marriage of Jesse. And also the interesting part that was interesting about David is this: he never had a mother. I never paid attention to that. So, what this man was just trying to do, he was trying to give an illustration of how you have to understand that the reason why David, in the end, and as we move on with the story going forward, we learned that he slept with another man's wife when he was not supposed to do. He was like, there was a moment he was stuck in his mind, trying by all means to find himself, and he found himself, of course, fornicating and stuff like that. And in doing so, it is because of the fact that this guy has never had anyone, and he always lived a trauma like life, because most of the things that defeated him as a man was more internally than externally. So the interesting part, I never paid attention. Right now, it's just I don't have the scriptures right now, but I would advise you to go try to read the story of David. Just try to find out from the beginning, from where he came from, because one thing that we know about David is that he was always a strong fighter, an overcomer. Everything that came in front of him, he would overcome. He killed lions, and he literally dropped an entire Goliath. So that's the only thing that we celebrate of him, of what he did in the world. But we never really paid attention to the mental state of this man going forward into the story. There's some certain things that he did in the story, and in our hearts, in our head, we don't really visit them so much because we don't want to, see our hero doing something that is not supposed to be. But if you ever paid attention to the Bible, the Lord is never trying to create the perfect people in the world. He always show you that the people that he accepts are the people who have done something, and he's always fast to forgive. All those people that he has or have ever walked with the word of the Lord as literally sinners of all. But the interesting part about David that I never, like I'm saying, I never paid attention was his mental state. And he also said something that was interesting, and I think this is what will lead to the story that I'm trying to tell. And he said that if you ever even paid attention to the Lord Jesus Christ, like if you ever paid attention to Jesus Christ, the story of Jesus, you actually learned something that was interesting. That the fact that he lived, and every child who was at a young age had to be killed, forcing the parents to move from another place, running away from a king who wanted to take his life, and he came back again. When he came back, and at the age of 12, he find himself literally debating in the temple with so many like what should I say, the temple mats and whatever, debating of the word of the Lord. And I was like, he of course he was God, and it was amazing to see what he was doing. But the truth of the matter is this: he said that whenever a child is traumatized from young age, will always want to do what they never managed to do. If you are not able to do, you want to do it to others. For example, if you paid attention from David, he was never seen like from Jesus, if I could say from Jesus, not really David, from Jesus. He was always hidden, never allowed to be seen out there, because his life was under threat from a young age. And when he grew up, he tried by all means to help those ones who were unseen, the blind men, the lady who of the issue of blood. They were unseen by the world, but they were also in pain. And he was able to see that and help them up. And I was really surprised, and I was like, that is an interesting take, because the way he was bringing the scriptures and the word, I'm telling you, people, it was amazing. It's just that I don't have them right now, but I would love to share with you, people. It opened my eyes, because I never knew how much so much of what you go through as a young person actually interprets or actually plays a bigger role in who you will be in life. And I never paid attention to that. So it got me thinking, it got me really wondering, and I thought a bit about it, and I thought about my life, and I was like, why am I always trying by all means to speak motivation, to always try to come up and say something maybe to help anyone who's in pain or what? Why am I always like, whatever I do, even if I disappear for a year or in some months or what, I always come back to this. Why do I always do this? Why do I always feel like I need to say something, even though sometimes I feel like I am empty, I have nothing to say? And uh, during my prayers and what the Lord revealed to me, and He said that if you pay attention to your life, you actually discover why you do this. So I was confused, and I was like, from what I learned, from what I was reading, and also what I was watching, I also learned of so many men of God who were actually talking about some things that happened in their life, which motivated them to want to come and help the world and speak the word of the Lord. And I was like, okay, there's an interesting story. And I now started to reflect that onto myself, and I paid attention to me, and I learned something that was really so profound. It was really amazing. I learned that because of the way I came up, so to those who don't know, but I believe all of us, a lot of people who are here knows, I was born in Zim, and I came here, I think, when I was about 10, about 13, 12 to 13 years, when I came to Botswana. And when I got here, it was always something interesting because I was trying to fit into the world, and that always made me feel so trapped because I started questioning a lot of things at a young age, and this was a bit interesting. First of all, I was questioning if I have the right voice. If I had the right voice, because if you ever listen to my voice, or like you are right now, my voice doesn't even sound as cool as it sounds in me, like inside me. But when I listen to it, I always found it always sounded a bit weird and different from how I thought it sounded from within, which was a bit weird. But this is also one thing that I suffer from, that will anyone ever accept me? Will anyone ever see me for who I am from what I do? And because I don't sound proper, I don't really hear myself like I'm supposed to. I don't really see the things that I'm supposed to do. And also, the what made matters worse is because I'm coming from another country, which, of course, when you will compare the states of Zim and Bos, you'd see that we were a bit lower in terms of a lot of things. So no matter what, where I'm going, they're never gonna see me like any normal peer or any normal person, like any person who's at the same level with them. I was always in the somehow I met so many people who always enjoy to undermine me, to make me realize where my spot is in life. So it was really difficult to a point that I had to grow a bit faster than I should have, or I would advise anyone's child to grow, because I was trying to see myself better. So I had to learn, because it came to a point where I was like, if I don't find the best thing to deal with this, I'm literally gonna lose myself, literally like die or anything. So I need to find something that can help me to fit in into this new space, into this area where people are talking a language I cannot even hear. And most of the times when they're talking, they give me the eye, showing that they're literally talking of me. But and the way their facial expressions are doing are literally attacking me. And I can't hear it. Maybe it's terrible because they're laughing about me. So where am I really? What's really happening? How do I balance this? How do I find myself in this situation? How do I actually, how do I get away from this traumatic moments I find myself in? And at some point growing up, I started becoming what I ended up learning, that I was becoming a man's slave. I thought if I work hard enough, if I do everything that is somebody everyone wants me to do, I would fit in, and they would at last accept me, because at the end of the day, wherever you look at it, I'm still the same. I still have the black skin like every one of you, and even though my voice sounds funny, I still a person. You guys So I will try to do so much. I always had to go an extra mile trying to help. If it could be teachers, it could be peers, it could be anyone, because I always saw myself as that person. And at some point, I got so tired. Because one thing I learned about life is this: when you play a character for so long, it is too much into your psyche, into your brain, into your entire being, that it's traumatic, that it gets you tired to a point that you can no longer do this. At some point, if you have ever paid my attention to my videos, because I've done so much, I always tell you that playing a character always carries so much pressure on your mental state than anything ever invented in the world. And at some point, I had to learn to stop giving a damn, because I think the thing that I started realizing was that it's just I give too much damn about this. But of course, I don't want to go too much to that, because I think I'll lose the storyline of what I'm trying to tell. But I started to stop giving a damn. But also in the process, I had to acquire something that has helped me in a lot of things I've gone through in my life, which was the power to motivate myself. Every single time I'm low, every single time I'm going through so many things, every single time I feel attacked by the world or by anyone, even anything, I had to learn to motivate myself. I had to learn. And at some point, of course, I would read the word, but I did not have enough of the word in me to get myself out of some situations. But because God is a just God, is a caring Lord, He always gave me something each and every day to make me see another day. And that gave me the confidence, the strength to fight so many people calls them demons, but so many my mental frustration that I had in my brain to help me keep going each and every day. And in doing so, I managed. I'm not saying I've made it in life. I'm not saying I've overcome. And I'm not even saying that the things I was going through has changed, because even though now I understand what the people are talking about, or what the people that I'm with, I'm always occupying with, are saying about, I'm still feeling like every single time I have to fit in. And that also came out in my life, because character wise, I'm a bit different by most of the people that I know, and it forced me to do so. But one thing that I've always used as a secret weapon was the power to motivate. And at the moment, and in the past years, the word of the Lord has been what has given me the strength day after day, night after night, to find direction over where I'm going, what I'm doing, and how I'm actually growing from a certain position to where I'm going in life. Because sometimes if you don't find the right word, the right seed within, you always feel trapped. You always feel like you want to die. And I always give glory to the Lord, and I said, thank you for this. So this is just a story I'm telling any child or any person in this world who feels like they're living that world where they feel like they're always trying to please other people, to feel like they fit in. And I'm telling you that sometimes you don't have to play the character. Sometimes you just have to find the right word in you. And if you put the right word in you, it will build you up to become a better person. And that's what I did. And that's what I keep doing. And that's what I work on each and every day to do. And that's what I'm going to tell my children, to also find the best place to always motivate themselves, to find themselves out of the gutter that I was. And if that helps, if any video that I put out there, if it helps you to overcome a lot of things, then we thank the Lord, because that is the most important thing that we can ever go through in life. Finding the right word to keep you going, because Lord is always speaking. The question is this: are you listening? So thank you very much for watching. I've been your host, Sam, and I hope I'll see you again. I'll see you very, very soon on another one. Like and subscribe if you're watching it on YouTube. I'm out. Peace.